Hey guys, it's Sarah with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we have a review and install of the smoked dual halo projector style headlights fitting your 09 through 14 Ford F150s without the factory HIDs. So these are perfect for the F-150 owner who's looking for one of the most budget-friendly ways to upgrade their factory headlights while adding a nice blacked out look to the front of their truck. These projector style headlights feature black housings with chrome lenses. Now the projector style means that instead of the reflector style of your factory headlight, which sort of spreads the light out, the projector gives you a nice concentrated beam of light. These headlights also include LED halos as well as LED accent lights, and these headlights are DOT compliant, and the LEDs will outlast your factory bulbs. So as far as price goes, these come in at around $200, making them one of the most budget-friendly options for a projector style headlight for your F-150. And with the added features of the smoked lenses and the LED accents, you're getting a ton of bang for your buck. So I'm giving this install a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. These headlights are direct bolt-up installation, but they will require some wiring in order to power the LEDs. But this can all be done in approximately 1 hour. For this install, you will need an impact gun or a ratchet, an extension, a 10mm socket, a trim panel removal tool to help the headlight come out of the front of your truck, a crimping and stripping tool, and a pair of needle nose pliers. All right, so once the hood is popped, the first step in our uninstall is to remove the 3 bolts holding in our headlight. Using a 10mm socket, remove the 2 bolts at the top. Using a 10mm socket, and you may want an extension here, remove the 3rd bolt on the inside of the headlight. At this point, you can grab the headlight and wiggle it straight out. Now there are 2 metal clips back here. You may need to pull pretty hard to release them. Unplug all of the connectors. Repeat that process on the other side. All right, so before we can get our new headlight installed, we do need to do a little bit of prep work on it. We're gonna start with transferring over the amber bulb from our factory headlight. So you're gonna grab this entire connector and twist it. Remove it out and just be careful not to touch the bulb. You can wear gloves if you'd like. At this point, you can transfer the bulb over and just note that one of these is larger than the other 2, the tabs that lock it into the new housing. So just line up the larger one with this bottom part here and twist it to lock it in place. We will also have to remove this connector from the factory headlight. Wiggle this bulb loose. You'll not be using this for your new headlight, but we will use this connector. Grab this small connector from your new headlight, and it goes into this housing sort of like an adapter. And finally, we will want to power these last 2 wires that power our LEDs. We're going to tap into the factory harness that's on the truck. So for now, we're just going to attach these spade connectors. Twist the wire nice and tight. Grab your connector and slide the wire into it. Grab your crimping tool. Just double check that you have a good connection. And repeat that with the ground wire. Now there's lots of different ways to wire these in. Basically, however you feel comfortable tapping into power and ground on your harness is gonna get the job done. So if you'd rather solder or use butt connectors, you can definitely do that. Now you're going to repeat that process on the other side. All right, now that we have the factory headlight uninstalled from our truck, we can check it out side by side with our new headlight. Now, as I mentioned before, the biggest difference between these two headlights is that our new headlight features a projector style lens, where the older one does have a reflector style. And the projector really just gives you a more concentrated beam of light for better visibility. Now the next big thing, as you can see, this new headlight features a black housing with a smoked lens, which is really gonna give you that blacked out look to the front of your F-150. And they finish it off with these nice LED accents, which are really gonna give you a more modern look. So with that said, let's jump right into our install. All right, so before we can install our headlight, we do need to tap into the accessory for a power and ground in order to power our LED halos. Now, as I said before, you can do this in a multitude of ways, but for now, since this is for demonstration, we're gonna use vampire clips. They do include vampire clips with this kit, and you're welcome to do it that way, or solder or butt connector, however you feel comfortable with. All right, so you're gonna line the vampire clip up onto the ground wire first. This one is the black wire with like a light gray or green stripe on it. If you're not sure about your truck, you're welcome to use a test light to be sure. Clamp it closed, and I like to give it a little bit of an extra squeeze with a needle nose just to make sure it's making connection with the wire. All right, now onto the power wire, which is yellow and green. All right, let's install our headlight. All right, so first we're gonna plug in this adapter connector. And then the power and ground of our LEDs. The ground wire, the black one, goes to the black and gray or black and green stripe. Again, you're welcome to double check this with a test light if you want to be sure. And then the power wire, the white one, goes to the yellow and green. Next up, your 3-pin connector from your headlight goes to the 3-pin connector on your factory harness. We won't be using the other larger connector. Tuck all your wiring back and slide your headlight in straight on to make sure the tabs at the back go into their respective holes. Once that's lined up, reinstall the factory hardware. Grab your 10mm socket and extension and tighten this down. Tighten down the top 2 bolts as well. Now we're going to repeat that process on the other side. All right, so that is gonna do it for the review and install of these projector style headlights. Remember, for all things F-150, keep it at AmericanTrucks.com.